Greetings. Good evening to you and welcome yet again to Healing for the Family. This is a podcast we hope will redeem the place of the family as a basic unit of society. Thank you for your continued support, those who have faithfully joined us for every episode and have become just part of family. Thank you. We appreciate you and we appreciate your support. The series we've been doing this season is really on parenting. And if you remember the last 3 episodes, we had Shalom Muniri helping us with conversations about connecting the next generation. Essentially, connecting generations, but essentially just helping to raise the next generation of parents. Today, I am joined again by another friend. I have so many friends. I hope you want to be my friend too, but I've been joined by another friend of mine. This one is actually, I'm not making this up. This is a very, very good and special friend of mine, Mercy Adu, and she's a friend of many as well. Karibu sana to Healing for the Family.
Thank you.
It's I've been waiting for you. Like, I don't know what took you so long, but karibu sana.
Thank you.
Mercy is a mom. Just like every member of the family, she's a mom, she's a daughter. All those things we say: a mom, a daughter. She belongs to a family, but she has three amazing children. One boy on the threshold of teenagehood,
Yes.
and 2 lovely twin girls. Can I say their names?
Yes. It's okay.
Myron is what, 13?
Myron is 13.
Myron is 13.
Yes. Then Michaela and Mia.
Yeah, Michaela and Mia
8.
are 8.
Yes.
The lovely twins. I love your children because they challenge me. They challenge. I remember 3 weeks ago, I was driving with Myron and we were having conversations like adults, and she was telling me the things he likes and the things he doesn't like. But karibu sana. How is parenting for you?
Honestly, the moment gets overwhelming.
Yeah.
So some days it's nice, it's enjoyable, but some days I'm like, what did I get myself into?
Did I get myself
Yes.
into? What was I thinking?
What was I thinking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But do you generally speaking, is it something rewarding for you, something you appreciate, you love? What do you love about it?
I think for me the biggest thing that I love about parenting is being able to see how the children are turning out now.
Yeah.
Because now I've raised them for a while,
Yeah.
so I am able to see their character.
Yeah.
It's forming.
Yeah.
For Myron, I'd say his character has already formed.
Yeah.
Even for Mickey and Mia, to a great extent,
Yeah.
character has formed.
Yeah.
But just seeing these little humans come to life
Yeah.
and be themselves, for me,
Yeah.
it's a big deal.
It's a big deal.
Yes.
Do you see yourself in them? Do you see
Through and through.
through and through?
Through and through. I see myself in them through and through. Like, yeah, they're a replica
Yeah.
to a great extent.
To a great extent.
Of me.
So is that a good thing for you? Is that, do you see yourself and then, hey, is that really me?
So initially, actually, for me, that was a worry.
Yeah.
I felt like if they just turn out to be me, just Mercy, they'd not be balanced. Like they'd be very passionate about whatever they believe in.
Yeah.
They'd speak their minds.
Yeah.
They'd be bold.
Yeah.
So initially, I felt like I kind of needed to balance that out. Like it would have been nice if they were like, I used to think 50% of me. But given the kind of people they're growing up to be and just the kind of conversations we have with them,
You're happy.
I'm happy.
You're happy.
I am.
You're happy
I'm
with how
happy.
they are.
Yes, I am.
They're turning out. So we've been having these conversations about parenting, and it's easy to assume when you're talking about parenting, it's easy to assume both parents being present, mom and dad.
Yes.
And it's easy for conversations like this to just talk about the family in the traditional sense, the way we think of it. And in even in school, the curriculums in school teach you family is father, mother, and children.
Yes.
But that's not your situation. It's not. Tell us a bit about that.
So I have been raising the kids alone for the last 6 years. Or 5 years, come March next year, 6 years.
Yeah.
Yes, so I have been raising them alone. So I'm a single parent.
Yeah.
Yes.
Single parent. How has that been for you? Do you feel that the challenge is more than normal? Do you get to a place where you wish,
Oh wow. Almost every waking moment, to be honest.
Yeah.
The days I wish I was not doing this alone.
Yeah.
Because parenting is, once you have kids, you're parenting them throughout, even when they're adults.
Yeah.
Now, when you're parenting them alone, I do not want to say it's 2 times the work. I actually think it's more than 2 times because parenting takes a lot from you emotionally, physically, mentally, financially.
Yeah.
So when you're the only parent present or parenting, it becomes it's challenging. It's challenging. So some scenarios say I have a very important meeting at office, and I'm sent a message by one of the teachers. So and so is sick. Please come and pick them. That makes me think, oh, gosh, I wish I was not doing this alone. I wish there was someone I could call and say, oh, so and so is unwell. Please, could you kindly take care of that. But now, when you're a single parent, it's your duty throughout. Sometimes I feel like I wish there was someone else's turn. Like I could.
Like as a single parent, it is always your turn to do everything.
It's always your turn. It's your turn to do drops to school. It's your turn to do hospital runs. You probably didn't sleep well at night because you're watching over a child who's sick. But in the morning, the others need to be taken to school. So it's your turn. When they have questions because they constantly have something to say, it's your turn. I know for a fact sometimes I tell my kids, the next time you say mom, you'll give me 10 shillings.
There are those moments where
yes,
you know.
because mom. So yes,
they in 1 minute, in 60 seconds, you've been called mom.
A couple of times, and then because it's not just one child. You have to make sure you're tending to all 3 of them.
All of them need
they
attention,
need your attention,
and it's just you to give them. It's just you to give them attention. I'm curious. Do you take breaks for yourself, and if you do, what would those look like? And is that even feasible?
I have now learned to take breaks. Initially, I wasn't taking breaks, but now I try as much as possible to take breaks. So, for example, Sunday afternoons after church, they know, even the kids know. I'll eat my lunch and go and nap. And please don't disturb mom unless, I usually tell them, unless there's a lot of blood, not just...
unless there's a lot.
A lot of blood, please don't interfere. Yes. But then in so doing now, I end up feeling guilty because what I know they'll do when I am napping is they're on the gadgets. They're on TV or the phone, something. So I end up feeling like, am I just exposing them to the gadgets too much so that I take a break? But I try to take a break. I recently have started also just going away for a while alone, minus them, and I tell them I'm just going alone. The first time I told them that, they're like, "You're going to think away?" Like, yeah. And one of them said, well, that's weird. But so I have learned to prioritize my rest too. But this has come over time. And mainly it's also because now the children are much older. Honestly. So I started being a single parent before the girls were 2 years. They were just about to turn 2 years. Now, at that point, you really can't take a break because they need you throughout. They're not independent. You need to make sure they are fed, they're clean. all those things. Yeah, so it's a reason that I've been able to now
You've
start.
been able to
Yes.
to start, but you still. It sounds like you still feel guilty taking.
Oh, I do. I end up feeling like, okay, maybe I am not being a present parent. Now, for me, it's key that I'm a present and intentional parent.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. So when, for example, I have them, be on the gadgets for a while or play outside, I feel like I am abdicating my role as a parent in a way. So yes, I will take the break, but on this other hand, I'm struggling to just tell myself that, Mercy, you actually need this break. It's important that you actually take this break.
Tell me, Mercy, do you find as a single parent, and maybe even a societal expectation, do you find that there is pressure for a single parent to prove things that I got this?
I wouldn't say, or for me, I wouldn't say that the pressure for me is from society.
Yeah.
I think the pressure is
from within.
From within.
Yeah.
What's key for me is that the children turn out into, great citizens, great human beings.
Yeah.
And there's the whole stigma or how children from single parent homes have been looked at in the past.
Yeah.
So I try to ensure that they turn out, are they disciplined? Are they doing well in school? So it's not anyone telling me, Mercy, or single parents, children, or something of the sort. It's from within, Mercy. I want to ensure that they turn out in a particular way. But that's pressure from within. Then on the other hand, I'm also very good at blocking the outside voices.
Yeah.
So my experience may be different from another single parent. Yes.
Parent. Is there a reason? This is a very personal question. Is there a reason that you feel the need to block?
Yes.
And you intentionally, practically block outside voices.
Yes, because I've learned human beings will always have an opinion.
Yeah.
Whichever way, whether you're raising children, whether it's a two-parent home, whether it's a single-parent home, whichever way, as human beings, we always have an opinion. So for me, I think the turning point for me was when I sat down with Mercy and I defined what success looks like for me. Now, when I was able to define what success looks like for me, and for me, success is really, it entails my kids, how they turn out to be. I was able to now decide that this is actually the road that I'm going to take. So I'm able to almost, in a way, not really care what other people say.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And to a great extent, I'd also say maybe my strong personality allows me to do that and say, this is the voice that I'm actually going to follow. My voice, the voice of God, and that's it. Yes.
And how do you get help? How do you get? So because there is one, the things that you need to do for them on a daily basis.
Yes.
Like dropping them off to school, picking them up. There's those duty things, tasks that need to be accomplished every day. But then there's what you keep saying as you're talking to me. You're saying it's important to you how they turn out. It's important to you how they turn out, and you have you model that for them. But how do you get help for that to do the tasks, but also to raise them?
Okay. Now, for me, I'd say one of the things that earlier on in my journey I realized I needed to have, whoever I have as a help in the home, for me, it's not just a help. I have someone who needs to be able to manage the home in a way. So that kind of reduces the pressure on me. So I have learned, and this is over time again, to delegate a number of things to my nannies. So whoever I employ as a nanny, I usually need to be able to trust that the children are okay.
Are okay with them.
Yeah, with them. So for me, the character of the nanny is key.
Yeah.
But also I'd say being able to just process things, so that some things she's able to handle without having to wait for me to come back home to now sort. So one, for me, a big one is my nanny. Help again, I come from a very close-knit family, so my siblings and my parents have been very, very helpful. For us, for a season, we actually were living with my mom, so to a great extent, she helped me with the children.
With the children, yeah.
So that's a big deal. Then friends, I have been very intentional about the friends that I have around me, and I have learned to again reach out, but I know to an extent again I've noticed that I kind of hold back sometimes because I feel like now I'm being too much.
So
So sometimes you feel like you need help, but then you're like,
but then you don't ask.
Yes.
You feel like
it can't always. I can't always be asking for help. Yes. So I almost want to balance that out.
Yeah.
Which is hard.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. You have a boy now.
Yes.
13 is actually a teenager.
Yes.
He's on the
Yes,
first
he
season of teenage. Do you get concerned, worried about the kind of man he would grow up to be, and especially because there is no man in his immediate environment modeling masculinity for him? Do those kind of things get to you?
Initially, yes. I used to worry a lot. I always say this: the best mother in the whole world cannot be a good father.
Cannot be a good father. Yeah.
Like, you can do your bit as a mom and really, really do it well. But you can't. I can't play the role of a man. I am not a man. I do not. I do not know how to, let me say, do manly things or do things in a manly way. So initially, I was very worried about Myron and how he will turn out, turn out to be. So one of the things that I've been very intentional about Myron is ensuring he has male figures around him. So my father, my brother, and friends, that they're able to just they're able to be present.
Yeah.
In a way, it's not perfect,
yeah,
because they're not there 24/7. They're not there with him 24/7.
Yeah.
I know initially I used to struggle with things like he'd get into the car first, and he's left his sisters out,
yeah,
and I'd be like, Myron, no, you have to wait for your sisters to go in, and then you go in. Or things like letting his sisters ahead.
Just being a gentleman.
Be a gentleman.
Yeah.
So some of those things I've been able to teach him myself, but I've also tried to ensure he has people who he sits with, spends time with once in a while, to try and cater for that.
Yeah.
It's not perfect.
Yeah. And
but it works.
I just want to say this. For teaching our sons to be gentle, the word is to be gentle men. Because when you say gentleman as one word,
yes,
the antennas of expectations go up. They go up, and there is holding doors and doing all those kinds of things. While those things are good, I think there's a difference between teaching our children to be gentle human beings, and not just to be men who have been have succumbed to societal pressure. And so the word I'm using here is, you're teaching him to be a gentle man, to be gentle to his sisters.
Human being.
Basically a gentle human being. I just needed to ensure we separate those two things.
Yes.
So you have.
Yes. So I have people who spend time with him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Spend time with him, talk to him, basically just to try and understand. Because again, what I've realized, I think in the last 2 or so years, I've realized there are things he's not necessarily very comfortable
sharing with
me. Yeah. So if I did not find him an outlet, let me use that, he'd have all that bottled within. So basically just having friends around him and people who he looks up to, who he's able to just be himself and talk about men stuff.
Yeah.
Plus he's also feeling like he's now a man. So
yeah. Does he? Can I ask you? And I know he's not here to speak for himself, but does he get concerned? I don't know which word to use. That he's the only man at home. Does that get to him? He has a mom, 2 sisters, house help.
It actually does. About a year ago, I think, he broke down. He broke down and he was crying. He's like, I'm usually the only boy amongst girls. And I know this also came from, I come from a family of, we are 6 sisters and 1 brother.
So
again,
most of the time he's surrounded by his aunts.
His aunties. Yes, it's his aunts. Then there is mom, there is sisters, there's nanny. So it's almost like too much estrogen for him.
Yeah.
So that broke my heart because honestly now what am I supposed to do about
what
that?
are you supposed to do? But I also applaud him that he had the thinking and the courage to speak it. He observed, by the way, I'm always surrounded by girls.
So actually his biggest dream is to have an older brother. Sorry, that ship sailed. You're the only one.
It can't. You are the old brother you want.
Yes, there's no undoing this. Wow. But as I said, I try to make sure he has men around him. I've also seen him enjoy really having friends that are boys, and for him it's a big deal. In fact, if we've been invited somewhere, the first thing he will ask, is there a boy? Is there a boy in that home, and how old?
Yeah, and how old is the boy?
Yes, because the other thing is he does not enjoy the young boys so much because he almost wants a brother to look up to.
Wow. Just still on Myron, and you said the kind of human beings you want them to be. What kind of, would you describe, if you can, the kind of man you would desire? And again, there is what you desire, but then there is what he becomes, and to a great extent, you can model, you can help him, you can do everything you can, but it does not guarantee that he will turn out to be that.
True.
And how does that then, what you have defined or what you aspire for him to be or what you dream for him to be, how does that inform your choices of the men you intentionally surround him with?
Okay. For my children generally, let me say that it's a big deal for me that they grow up knowing God. For me, when I say that I defined what success looks like for me, that's number one, that they know God and they live on a daily basis, they live for God. There is knowing God, there is saying I'm a Christian, and there is living your life in a way that really does not portray Christ. So for me, him being a disciple of Christ and actually knowing Christ is key. Then number 2, I think, would be him being a gentle human being. Like, just deal with people in a very gentle manner. Don't rough people up. Be kind, basically. So how that has informed who I expose him to is definitely the first person that I'm going to expose him to is someone who knows Christ. And I have been on that one. I almost do not make no compromises, no apologies. For me, it's key that it's someone who knows Christ and knows. It's not just knowing Christ, but knowing Christ and actually living for Christ. Then someone who's gentle. The other one that's key for me is a man that's my desire for him is that he grows up to be a man that's a leader. I do not want him to grow up into a man who's who can't lead, for lack of a better word, or who's very I don't know how to put it. So I try as much as possible, as I do it at home, I try as much as possible to call out the leader in him. So I constantly give him opportunities where he has to lead. But also exposing him to
men with that trait. The reason I ask this question is because from some of my interactions with single parents, single moms especially, there is a desire to have the male figure, to have a male figure, a male presence around your children. But then you listen to some of the reasoning and you find that this person just wants a male figure for the sake of having a male figure around them. They have not defined what kind of influence they would want this person, these people they're surrounding themselves with to have on their children. They have not defined what they would like these male figures to instill in their children. And the danger with that is you'll
easily expose your child to
almost anything by just exposing them to just anyone who comes around, isn't it? Wow. What is the hardest thing for you about raising a boy as a single mom?
I'm not so sure that I don't know how to put this. I'm not so sure that I feel like raising a boy as a single mom is as difficult as I feel like raising the girls is. I actually feel like the girls have missed out more. I don't know, but for some reason I feel like they have missed out more on having the influence of a man than Myron has. Probably because by the time I was ending up as a single mom, they were 2 years old. They were not really, they had not even turned two. So they don't even know. I realized that they don't even know what it's like to
have a male figure,
to have a male figure, to have a dad. I think for me that's a bigger struggle than it is Myron. Either because Myron is older, I feel like he kind of understands. I don't know. I feel like he kind of understands. But now for the girls, I feel like that's even a bigger challenge. Yes, they have seen mom, and the truth is they're going to grow up into very strong, ladies with a very strong character and personality. But I'm not so sure if they know what it's like to have. Not that I'm not so sure. They don't know what it's like to have a dad. Yes.
And so it's interesting that you say that for you it's the challenge is more with the girls than
the challenge is more with the girls, especially because even when they were younger, I noticed any time we'd be in a group setting, my girls they easily they prefer male company.
The male friends to female
company. So there, that I'm still figuring out.
And so even for them, are you intentionally then surrounding them with a village of godly men?
Yes, I am, but it's not, how do I put it? It's not the most natural thing, because for Myron, it's very easy for my male friends to, pick him up and go with him and probably, I don't know, do something that's for men, paintball, something. It's very rare for a guy. I think even
it's awkward.
That's what I wanted to say. It's awkward. They feel.
How do I come and tell you, Mercy, can I take your girls out today?
Yes.
While with
but
Myron,
I try. There's one particular one who really, really tries. So he'll take all of them and go and spend time with them. And what I notice is by the time the girls are coming back home, they're excited, they have energy. In fact, when they're going to spend time with him, it's a big deal. I once asked them if they miss their dad, and one of them told me, I don't know what that's like. And that was
it was
that broke my heart, because it's basically because they've never really experienced living with their father in the same place. So they don't know what that is like.
So if you're going to introduce then, and I, for this question, I want you to talk to single parents, single moms, especially for single moms of girl children. If you're going to introduce then a male figure into the lives of your daughters, then it can't be just filling space.
No, it can't.
You have to
be intentional.
You have to be intentional about who this person is, knowing who this person is, knowing their character.
You have to be intentional about knowing the character of the person you're introducing. But you also have to be very, almost to an extent, I don't know, almost be certain that this person is going to be present. Like, they're not going to be present for a while and then disappear, because that again introduces pain. That feeling of almost abandonment,
re-traumatizing. And so you don't want
so
now you see me, now you don't. It's someone who is
someone who
around for substantively longer
some good time,
and then
which makes it difficult, because I mean, life is happening, and there are seasons.
Isn't that a lot of hard work?
It is. I guess that's why sometimes we just, decide, what? I'll do my bit. And if some of my friends are able to be present, yes. If not, it's fine. One of the things, I think I used to be so scared of them growing up with... not really a father wound, but missing out on their father, and not experiencing what that is like. Until one day, I just felt like God asked me, Mercy, are you saying I am not capable of healing your children? Yes, there's a gap, and you'll try and do your best. But are you trying so hard to do your best because you think I am not capable? Should they have a lack? Is it that I'm not capable of healing them? Yes. So when I felt that, when we had that conversation with God, I just said, you know what? Do it your way.
And it's also then very it's interesting what you're saying, because we might be so preoccupied with introducing the men, the male figures into the lives of our children, because we trust that they would have that male influence. At the expense or at the risk of forgetting the fatherhood of God. And not believing what God says about himself, that he is father to the fatherless. And even belittle the work of the Holy Spirit in the lives of our children. And so I like what you're saying with that conversation that you're having with God about him asking you those questions and saying, do you not trust me? Do you not believe that I can?
Because basically that's what God was asking. I think I was so fixated on having a human being present. But, God says he is a father and a father to the fatherless. So I have now become intentional about pointing my children to God. And yes, they know their father, their biological dad. They know him and they have an interaction with him. But it's not as constant. It's not throughout. So the lack is still there. But I can point them to God. The other bit is I learned that even with my friends, the moments they can't come through for me, and initially that would cause me almost pain. For but you guys, you'd said you're going to be present.
And sometimes it's not even what they say. Sometimes, again, from interacting with single parents, there is an expectations. You are my friends.
Yes.
You should see.
Yes. Yes, I know. There's usually that expectation. You already know that.
You already know that it's hard
I'm
enough.
a single parent, and there's this boy. You're supposed to be,
exactly. Step up,
spend time with him. But then I learned, and I think this was especially during the COVID season. I learned that sometimes even that is not possible. My friends may have the good intentions of being present, but they are unable to be present. So what can I do as Mercy? Again, do my bit and do it really well. And point these children to Christ, to God. And if the opportunity presents itself and there is someone, I try as much as possible to be intentional. But I've learned not to have hang-ups when that does not happen. Yes.
I want to say this. I don't think any human beings comes to a place ever where they don't have a need for a father or a father figure. I don't. A father is someone one will need for as long as they live. But here is the problem with that, is that no matter how good your father is, they will disappoint you. And this is how when I say this, it's a big word, but the disappointment will not be intentional. They will break a promise out of, not being intentional, out of forgetting. But also people die, human beings die, and fathers die, and you become a fatherless child. The reason I say that is because God, the Father, will ever be constant. He will ever be present. In fact, he says in his word, he is the ever-present help, our ever-present help in our time of need. And for me, this is a personal testimony. Like even today, I feel the need for a father, but I can't go out looking for a father figure. I can't go out. I'm a man now. Like some men will find it awkward. What's wrong with this kid? But you see, I trust completely in the fatherhood of God, and I trust now that even with my father having been present for the years he was present, he passed on. Even with him having been present for the years he was present, the things he was able to do for me, he only did them because God enabled him to do them. Yes. And so I cannot overemphasize the fatherhood of God. And it is the one thing that even as single moms look for friends and look for a community around them, is the one thing that they must never shut their eyes to, isn't it?
Yeah. It is. Because at the end of the day, I mean, even in homes where it's a two-parent home, the father may, he may forget to do something. He may not step up the way he's meant to be. So at the end of the day, it's key that we're able to point our children to God, because human beings will let us down. We'll fail.
And again, I want to emphasize that we're not saying human beings will fail because they want to fail, but even with the best intentions and even the best of us fail. If at things we don't believe we could fail in, and that's why all of us need the fatherhood of God, the fatherhood of God, and indeed, God is the father to the fatherless. Mercy, I want us to take a break here, and come back for the next episode. And the questions I want to ask for the next episode is, how do you discipline? The question of discipline. But I also want to ask the question of stigma for being a single parent in an African society. How do you deal with that? All right?
Okay.
We'll see you in the next episode. This is Healing for the Family. We are praying for your family. Have a good night.